So, welcome to are we week 6 of this meditation series. I'm just going to put the light on because I think that might help me. And this is the last session that we're having in February. So, those of you in the southern hemisphere, I can't remember whereabouts will we be in your months, but we are starting to see more light, and it does feel like we're probably beginning to start to see the changes within nature, as it adjusts and changes. So today we're going to practice sitting, or welcome to do it lying down. We're going to move into a period of quietness. I'm going to introduce some of the compassion based practices, so being kind with what you choose. And then we'll practice a few of the techniques that we did a few weeks ago. So moving into stillness, setting yourself up, getting any props and blankets that you may need. I'm just going to check my sound. I don't want to dud. So settling into the space of your body. Taking a moment to check in with each nook and cranny. And my invitation today is to bring your awareness to your head. So starting from the top down. So pulling yourself up by the crown of the head, releasing any tension that you might find in your face, checking that your shoulders aren't up by your ears, your jaw's not clenched. The arms, the back, maybe slightly lifting the chest. If you have a tendency to slump and roll forward, this is completely natural. The front of our chest and our belly are our most vulnerable areas of the body. And when we curl over, we're protecting those organs, so we're protecting ourselves in this posture. But when we move and make minor adjustments, releasing tension and tightness, this communicates to the body, it communicates to the brain that we're safe, that there are no lions and tigers. The legs, thighs, knees, shins, calves, and feet. And taking a moment to honour the time that you've carved out for yourself. And to bring a kind and warm welcome to your experiences just that they are. That we're not here to fix or change anything, but to notice. For the remainder of the hours of the day and the week ahead, your mind can do whatever it likes. But for this space, the invitation is to bring your awareness to your body and to your breath, to step out of your prefrontal cortex and explore what it is to be you physically present. And that each time your mind wanders, that you'll return your attention to the body or the breath. So just taking a moment to find your anchor for today's practice. When your mind wanders, you can return your attention here. So somewhere neutral in the body. Could be a particular sensation. You might bring your awareness to sound or smell, or what your eyes are doing, what you can see, what you can taste. Being playful and curious and interested in your experience of being you. And now an invitation to narrow your awareness to your breath, beginning with the in-breath. Observing each in-breath. So we focus our attention and then we let go. You can find counting helpful, and then count from 1 up to 10 and return back to 1 again. There's no competition, there's no prize. If you lose your way, simply returning back to 1, noticing if you criticised yourself. You can also use the alphabet. Going as far as J and then returning to A. Your in-breath. Do you follow the full flow, or do you focus on one part in particular? If you fancy a challenge, the top lip, where the air gets sucked in. Depends on the temperature of the air, but it can be a tricky one to observe. Or the sides of the ribs, or the back of the ribs as they expand outwards, a very subtle movement. Each time your mind wanders, returning to your anchor, the breath or the body, and returning your attention to the in-breath. Checking in with your posture from time to time, that your shoulders haven't work their way up to your ears and your face hasn't screwed itself up in concentration. And now an invitation to move your awareness to your out breath. You may want to move to observe from a different spot. You may want to count or use the alphabet as a way of working through this part of the practice. Being playful, observing what's useful, leaving to the side what isn't, and noticing perhaps that this changes. You have choices. We can't necessarily change our experiences. We can respond to them and adjust. Experience discomfort within the body, knowing that you can move, weaving those movements into the practice. You can't get it wrong. This sitting in quiet and stillness, observing our out breath, is an incredibly complex experience for the brain. It's having to work really hard. In this world of overstimulation, constant information, busyness, things to buy, things to do, things to go to. Sitting in stillness with our breath and the out breath. It's not easy. Meeting yourself where you are and returning your attention over and over as we sit in stillness and quiet with our out breath. This out breath. And this out breath. And now an invitation to move into the full flow of the breath. Observing the in-breath, pause, the out-breath, the pause, the sensations and movements. As we fill and empty our lungs. Uninvolved in all of the physiological and chemical processes that are happening behind the scenes, the transactions between blood vessels and membranes. All these things that our body does that we don't have to be involved in. How it takes care of our health and well-being, sifting and sorting. That in taking this time to sit in stillness, practicing in this very deliberate and specific way, we give our bodies an opportunity to drop into the parasympathetic nervous system, to move into rest and restoration. Giving our bodies an opportunity to repair and restore. By simply noticing. Breathing in and breathing out. Now letting go of focusing on the breath and expanding your awareness to the breath in the body. So, good opportunity to check in, posture, letting go of any tightening or tension that may have crept in. These bodies have housed our stories and our experiences and the many versions of ourselves that we've been over the years, always changing and adapting. We're going to take some time to step into some of those stories. So we're going to move in and out of the prefrontal cortex here. So being kind and careful with what you pick. You don't need to throw yourself in at the deep end. And then checking in with yourself what kind of mood you're in to deal with what pops up. Knowing that the breath is always there, or that neutral point in the body is your anchor that you can hold on to. It's always with you, like a life raft or those buoy things. Hold on to it, go back there, or swimming off again. Okay. So, an invitation to bring into your mind's eye a recent difficulty or challenge. Could be a stressful piece of paperwork. Could be an unexpected bill. Could be concern or a worry over a loved one. Something that's caused you some upset, some challenge, you wish would go away. And once you've found the story, let's listen to the version that your body is experiencing of it. So just in the same way we did at the beginning of checking in with our body, with this story, we've just moved to the side, to the background. What can you notice in your body? Anything in the face? The chest? Has your posture changed? You feel heaviness, tingling, butterflies. Not changing what you find, but noticing. This is your body's version of that story that you carry with you. These mental events become physical experiences, and we're learning to listen and pay attention to them. We don't need to change anything, but simply noticing is enough. Being curious and kind. What is it to be you, holding this challenging experience? What are you carrying? Where are you carrying it? And then narrowing your awareness to your breath again, breathing in and breathing out. Now an invitation to take yourself back in time, something that was at the forefront of your mind maybe 5 years ago. Something that you may have completely forgotten you went through. So 2019. May have taken a while to have found a story, an experience, something that you've been through, and dropping into the body and noticing what this brought up, if anything. What's your body's experience of sifting through this story 5 years ago? Lightness, heaviness, shapes, colours, textures, tingling. What do you notice in your body now? Your body that's housing and holding stories and experiences. And now an invitation to return your awareness to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to step back into our prefrontal cortex one last time. An invitation to bring into your mind's eye a challenge or a difficulty, an experience that you went through 10, 15, 20 years ago. Something that maybe felt impossible, unbearable. And then dropping into the space of your body and noticing what's here now. Maybe you're remarking on your resilience. That you did it, and you got through it, and you're here. Shapes, colours, textures, movements. What do you notice? What's your body's story? What's your body's story now? Of that pain, of that hurt. And then narrowing your awareness back to your breath. Invitation to place one hand on your heart area, really spreading those fingers out over the chest, having a wide base, and likewise for the belly as well. Observing the breath as best you can, breathing into the space of the hand and the heart, and the hand on the belly. Feeling the weight and pressure on your body. Perhaps having a sense of being held. Even leaning into your hands. This releases oxytocin. I'm losing my words. Happy hormones. And an invitation to say these words out loud or to yourself. May I be well. May I be at ease. And may I be kind to myself and to others. May I be well. May I be at ease. And may I be kind to myself and to others. May I be well. May I be at ease. And may I be kind to myself and to others. An invitation to slowly bring your hands to your face, to massage your forehead, the eyebrows, the cheeks. Being tender, massaging your lips. Your jaw, top of the neck, down the neck. This body, all the stories and experiences that it's housed. Massaging the shoulders. I hold so much tension, hold us back. Perhaps saying things that we'd say if we were unfiltered. Things that we learned to keep to ourselves. And then moving to your hands. An invitation to just shake your hands and your arms, moving them up, stretching up. And just moving into some stretches and movements. And then returning to stillness. I'm just going to close this part of the practice with a final February reading from Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times. Moving through. So she's been cold water swimming, which you don't need to do to get the same effects. I'll talk through that another time. Encountering the extremes of cold drew us both into that most cliched space, the moment, forcibly pulling our minds away from ruminating on the past or future or tilling over an endless to-do list. We had to tend to our bodies right there, right then, ever watchful that the cold did not encroach too far. More than that, the sea offered us an endless number of gifts to observe. It was different every day, sometimes rigid with waves, sometimes mill pond flat. It turned pewter under pale skies and craggy grey under storm clouds. Calm days left the sea clear and blue as the Mediterranean. Sometimes black-headed gulls or herring gulls bobbed alongside us. Sometimes a cormorant would sweep past. Sometimes a flock of sanderlings would flit by, low over the water, chirping as they went. The occasional dog swam out to meet us, and one day I watched helpless as one ran off with my towel. There were days when the water felt silky, and days when it was thick as the edges, nearly slush. We began to feel how the sea would fall slack at the height of the tide, as if pausing to take a breath, before it began to flood away again. It tasted saltier before the high tide and fresher after it. We speculated that the river was diluting it. At the end of the first month, we lit a bonfire on the beach as the sun was setting and dried off in its warmth. As our children played, we drank wine and toasted marshmallows, and we attracted some new recruits, complete strangers who walked up to say, "Have you been in? Was it cold? How did you manage? Can I join you one day?" We smiled and said, "Welcome." So an invitation to take tea, moving, weaving ordinary activity into our daily lives. Something as simple as taking a cup of tea can offer you a mindful moment. And today I'm serving a very simple white tea that's in a tea bag. So I'm going to pause the space. And for those of you practicing on your own time, an invitation to simply stream of conscious journal, a la Virginia Woolf, just write what comes up. So in terms of the cold water swimming and all the loveliness that can bring, we can do this in much more gentle ways, as we've discussed earlier. So let's practice one of the techniques that we did. And for those of you who are singers, you are doing it on a regular basis. So keep it up, as long as it's not too overwhelming and too much. So taking a deep in-breath, holding, and then humming. You can hum whatever you like. One more time, breathing in, holding, and perhaps bringing your hand to your chest and humming. So there you are, you've just activated and worked on vagal tone, which is what these cold water swimming things are doing. And another thing that you can do is have a cold flannel, pop it in the fridge, put it in a lockbox, open it up and place it over your face and tap it in. And that again will do some things for your vagus nerve if you want to have a little play with cold. So I will leave you with that. If anything has come up for you within the practice, please do reach out and I can get back in contact with you. We can always have a little Zoom. Thank you so much for joining me. We've got a short break now. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Take care.